Hi guys, this is Oksana Verfine Art and welcome to Technical Thursdays. Today I will be talking to you about choosing your own colors for your drawings. I have actually already made a video where I use Photoshop program to use a color picker option and pull out the colors from the photo reference. I have used a different photograph, but with this one, this is my own photo reference and I use the same approach, and you can go back and look at my video how I did it that specifically. And here are the colors. There are 11 colors. I did not specifically had a certain number in mind. I just looked at some of the repeating colors or general colors where I saw kind of the similar shades. I did not pull that color out with the color picker. So what this video is about, once you have already done something either in Photoshop or different program, you can do it in GIMP, you can do in similar, maybe even free program that you can find nowadays. There are a lot of online photo editing programs. Or Paint, for example. There is another one, 3D Paint, that comes with your computer sometimes. So again, you can select the colors, pull out the colors from the photo reference any way you choose to do that. So you can see I did that on my rocks, and in this video I will be actually showing you how I select my pencils. This is one of my approaches, how I select the colors. There are other ways, and sometimes I alternate how to choose colors exactly for my next drawing, but in this case I wanted to follow up on the chart that I created with already pulled colors, and I will be trying to closely match my colored pencils, trying to find very close colors, if not the same, maybe even use a combination of pencils if I have to. But I am going to show you how I personally do that. Hopefully there is going to be information that will be helpful for you as well. Before I show you my process, please, I want you to keep few things in mind. Number one thing is you don't have to have exactly the same pencils that I will be personally demonstrating for you. I personally chose those pencils because I thought they would complement the color palette of my photo reference the most, and also because of the paper surface I chose, I immediately decided, okay, those pencils would work probably better than others. So that's why I only settled on 4 brands. Number 1 brand that I personally picked was Derwent Lightfast. I am working on the lightfast paper, so I wanted to make sure I included those colors. If you don't have Derwent Lightfast, you could choose any Derwent color by the name reading like across the line. So if you have Pro Color or Color Soft, you can look up with the same name. For the number 2, I chose to have Polychromos by Faber-Castell. Number 3, I chose to have a Carandash Pablo. And by number 4, I chose to have Holbein's colored pencils because they are soft. They're going to be instead of my luminance, because I decided to experiment more with Holbein because they're still new for me personally, and I want to give them a chance and try to see how I can mix them and how they will behave in this piece. I know that I have mentioned that I will be doing 4 brands of pencils, but I have one other set of pencils. They are by Derwent. They are Derwent Drawing. They come in a set of 24. I will not be using all of them, but when I look at those pencils, their palette, their shades really match my photo reference so much, because they have so many of those colors that you find in nature and rocks. And that set just almost like screamed at me saying, pick me, pick me. So I did want to include those at the very end. So enough of me really talking, and let me take you to my actual table where I'm showing you my process, and it will be a combination of some real time and some sped up videos, just to give you an idea, a process. You don't have to have exactly the same process or the same colors, it just to give you the idea of how I select the colors. So enjoy. So the very first thing that I normally do, I would get all my color swatches out. As you can see here, for this photo reference, I have selected the 4 pencil brands, and I have previously done swatches. So these swatches are for Derwent Lightfast. So I have those ready. Then the next swatches I have for Caran d'Ache Pablo colored pencils. Those can be put aside. Then I have Faber-Castell Polychromos swatches. And then the last I have the Holbein Artist colored pencil swatches. So those are all going to be put aside, and I have a piece of paper where I will be writing down the colors. I started by just numbering all those colors that I will be trying to find the closest matches to. And the paper I chose is the Derwent Lightfast paper. Especially, it's very important when you do your swatches, you want to have the same piece of paper that you will be doing original artwork on. So I'm numbering, starting with number 1. And I will be using my Derwent Lightfast color swatches and trying to find the closest match. So this is my next step, that I'm using my color swatches, finding the closest match to the color I'm looking for, and writing it down before I am pulling out the actual pencils. This way it just keeps me organized, and I prefer this way, so I'm not being all over the place. And the video is a little bit fast forwarded, so you can get a general idea. I'm just writing down the names of the pencil brands, and right now I'm working on Polychromos and Holbein pencils, and writing down all the names, just the names of the pencils that I found the closest match, just based on my color swatches. And this is just going to keep me on track before I move on to my next and last step, where I will be actually pulling out the colored pencils. So just writing down all the names of different pencil brands, trying to match as close as I can. And of course, this is just based on how you personally see the colors. You may see differently from me, and vice versa, and there is no right or wrong way. You see the colors your way. And again, it's not so much going to be about the actual color and matching the exact colors, but mostly about values that you're able to achieve, your darks and your lights. So it's very important that you keep that in mind. So again, I'm varying the lengths of the videos. Some are fast forwarded for you, and just get a general idea. And I think you can already see that otherwise it would be a pretty boring video process in real time for me writing all these down. But you got a general idea what I'm trying to show you and do. This is again my own personal process, how I select the colors. And now we are at the step where I'm pulling out the pencils of all those colors that I wrote down, all those pencils, and I'm going to show you the swatches, the color, how they go down. Now, another tip I want to give you is that remember I mentioned how important it is to use the same paper to practice your color swatches, same as your original drawing, because if you used this paper, actually lightfast paper, is a little bit off-white. As you can see, the printed paper where I have this photo reference on is much whiter compared to this actual paper that I'm using for color swatches. It's very important because the colors may look and appear different depending on the tone of the paper, okay, or the shade of the paper. And since it's off-white, the colors may be a little bit not as pure, but with a little bit of tint to them. All right, so here I'm using Caran-d'Ache Pablo. As you can see, I selected a lot of pencils. Again, no specific way, just my own way of seeing colors. So this is, again, the last step that I'm using for finding the closest matches. I also did notice that some of the colors that I got and laid them down on the paper, they did not appear as close to that match to the colors that I was trying to get. Again, that's just this is all playing with colors, experimenting. I'm marking here all those shades that I thought that represented the most the color I'm looking for. So then I can just only keep those that I checked for my original drawing when I actually start the piece. So after I went through this whole process of doing the color swatches, just like I showed to you, I marked off some of the best shades, okay, some of the best colors I thought that fit my closer to the photo reference, the colors that I pulled out in Photoshop, right? So then what I did, I only kept the pencils of those colors that I found the best matches to, and the rest I just put away. So as you can see, there's a lot of color swatches that have been done, and I want to show you now that I pulled them all out, I just put them into the school pencil holder. Now what I actually kind of did is instead of matching to these colors, they match perfectly. They have 11 of these slots, and I surprisingly, and quite a convenience to me, is that it was also 11 swatches I made, okay? So 11 shades of colors that I tried to find the best matches. And now they're all laid. So for the number 1, I have this set of pencils. For number 2, I have this set of pencils. For number 3, this set of pencils, and they're all in front of me, which would make it easier also to cross select. If I wanted to pull a little bit of this color from maybe a darker shade, I will do that. So it's nice to see all these colors in front. And if you have seen my video where I'm talking about paper supports, I'm using one of those paper supports just at the moment. I'm still quite not 100% sure if I will keep this drawing support or if it's going to be transferred, located like on a different surface. But as you can see, there is a line drawing. Well, you cannot see actually because it's such a light pencil lines here. I did use a kneaded eraser, so the lines wouldn't be as prominent. But this is my line drawing, all ready to go with pencils at my arm's reach, my swatches just in case I need, and this is exactly the same paper for my swatches that I used because that way I know how the colors lay down on the paper that I selected for my original drawing. So this is I can also use it for practicing some color combinations if I need to. And I have my photo reference, a little bit enlarged, bigger size, in color, and I also have in black and white. So this is my own photo reference that I took. So I'm quite excited to try to tame these rocks. It's going to be quite a challenge, but I love challenges. I hope you enjoyed the video, and for some of you even enlightened some, maybe for some great tips and ideas. I would only be happy to know that you actually found it helpful and could use in your own drawing practice. Please feel free to comment below. I would love to hear from you. Have a great day and see you next time. Bye bye.